What's up, everybody? Noble Comics here. Before I get started, I got to test my audio. I got a new setup going here. Got, new camera, new mic. Want to make sure everything's actually coming through all right. So give me 1 second. Why test that out? All right, so give me 1 second. Okay, just had to hear myself on the other device to kind of make sure that I'm doing all this right. I'm new to this YouTube stuff. So, what is going on, everybody? Back again. Been a while. So, quite a few things have happened since the last time I did a live stream or really a video of any kind. Worked on some comics, got a new car, same place that I'm living, but made some upgrades here. Just little stuff here and there. Been nice. Working, going to school, all that. Which really, that's kind of affected the videos. Going back to school takes up a lot of my time. But other than that, let's just get into it. So I can't stop thinking about Batman. If you follow me on Twitter, keep in touch with my Twitter stuff. Saw Batman on my birthday and just storming out there. And I really liked it. Girlfriend got me tickets to go see it. Really liked it. I saw You Boys Act made a video, and he titled it something like Batman isn't a movie, it's a mood. And man, if that ain't the truth, that movie is really like, that is such a mood movie. And it's like, you gotta be, I don't know if you gotta be in the mood to watch it, but that movie will put you in it, man. Gotham City is like so unique compared to most comic book movie cities. It doesn't feel like Chicago or New York. It feels like Gotham City. It feels so dirty. The music was great, acting was great. Great Batman movie, I think. But I can't stop thinking about it, and I feel like I need to watch it again. But when I watched it the first time, I liked it, but I'd probably give it like an 8, which I'd say is great, but it's not like amazing, going to blow my socks off or anything. But I want to watch it again. It's just been on my mind. And I think I really like it. So I definitely need to go see it again at some point, or just wait till it comes to HBO. But I can't stop thinking about this movie. Man, it's so good. But I'm wondering why that is. And I don't know, like the story was good, but I think more than anything, when I think about it, I don't think about the story, and I really don't even think about scenes, which is kind of strange. When I think about why I like Batman, it really is a mood. I love the mood that it puts you in, and that it kind of takes you through this kind of dirty world that he's in. So that's kind of something to think about when I'm writing, is really setting the mood, and that can take the story pretty far on its own. So something to think about. We might come back around to this topic a little bit later. And this kind of ties into with branding, the other thing I wanted to talk about. Because if you're a creator of your own comics, or really a creator of anything on your own, one thing you always got to think about is how to brand yourself. And really it comes down to how to set yourself apart from everybody else. And I struggled with that for a long time, because originally I was set apart from everyone else because I make my own comics, or it's like my comics are different than their comics. That's the difference between me and them. But that's not it. It's not so simple, really, ever. Looks like we got 3 people watching. Thank you very much. But it's never really that simple as just it's my stuff, because everybody's got their own stuff. Most people's stuff is not good, considering everything. So how do you brand yourself and follow up on that and actually stick to that? And as a whole, Batman brands himself as like a grounded, gritty, kind of dark character. And this movie follows through on that. That's why you saw a bunch of like just the Marvel fanboys get kind of upset, because Batman wasn't goofy and the movie wasn't goofy and didn't have a joke every 15 seconds. Like I saw a meme about it where it's like, Marvel fans, when Batman didn't say, that sounded better in my head after he says, I am vengeance, because that's the kind of stuff that they want. Is they just want it goofy and light, but that's not what it was, and that's really not what it should have been. I think they did a good job sticking to like an actual serious movie. And I think that plays into the branding of the character, and kind of DC's franchise as a whole is kind of branded that way. But then you got to think about, well, what about my comics? What is different about mine? And originally, like, it was so stupid when I'm trying to figure this out. When I'm 17, you have no idea till you get into it. But it's kind of funny, as I've been writing, a pattern has sort of emerged before me that I wasn't even thinking about. And I noticed that all of my stories kind of stick to a similar theme. I talked about it, I think, in my previous live stream about storytelling with love. And that's, all of my stories are like masculine or father-son stories, kind of the premise of, whether explicitly or not, kind of like what it means to be a man, which is an important topic, especially if you are a man. Sort of what it means to, you know, what it means to be a man. What are your responsibilities? What should your goals be? How should you act? How should you behave? Protect people, all that stuff. And I think that's where my stories tap into. And I think that might be my brand. It's like how to be a man, masculine stories. So maybe that's why I like Batman too, because I feel like he kind of fits in with that. As do most kind of big mainstream heroes. Spider-Man's kind of the same thing, but it's more like he's trying to figure out how to be a man in his stories. So it's kind of the same. So that's kind of branding, but Batman's stuck in my head. This is going to be a short stream. I just had a few thoughts I wanted to talk about. And then, see if I can share my screen. A few other things that I've been working on. So if you've been keeping track of my Twitter or anything, this is kind of been working on a few things. I got Cardinal Book 2 in the works. I've got a Displacer comic book in the works, which I'll talk about here in a second. I just got some concept art for another character in another story that is in the works. Well, I say it's in the works. It's in very early development. Probably won't be out for a few years for a character. I'm calling the Black Mantis. That is such a dope design, isn't it? That is so cool. I'll talk about that more as it develops. But yeah, got that going on. Displacer, I've got 10 pages done right now. Is that right? 10 pages? I think 10 pages done right now. I've got them all here. They're not lettered yet. I lettered some of them, and then it turns out that they were uploaded in the wrong DPI, so I had to get them re-uploaded, and I haven't re-lettered them since. But the basic story, if we're going through it, just to kind of get you familiar, is we've got these people known as displacers. They're problem solvers. They, for some reason, nobody knows why, have this ability that they disappear and reappear wherever they're needed, anywhere in the world. And the only way for them to get back home is to solve the problem that they were teleported there to solve. Once it's solved, they go back home. They vary in complexity. So this is our Displacer, who's been doing this for a while. He's kind of giving us the rundown of how it started and how things went. Then he gets taken away to solve another problem. And this is kind of where it picks up. I think it's got a pretty neat art style to it. It's going to be a cool story. It gets into kind of like a detective horror type genre, which is pretty cool. Again, Black Mantis, Cardinals on the way. We're doing a lot over here at Noble Comics. Doing a lot. Okay, we're back. So a few things that we're working on over there. Be excited for. Definitely gonna have Displacer out this year. We're thinking Cardinal 2 next year, and then hopefully Cardinal 3 will be finished by next year and then can come out the following year. So that'd be 2024. We'll get Cardinal 3, and then hopefully have a Cardinal book every year. That's kind of the plan. And then we'll throw in some, like this Displacer thing's a 60-page story, 64. And I want to do kind of maybe every year, every other year, throw in like a 60-something page story that's not connected to Cardinal. It's kind of its own thing, its own universe. I've got a few of them written. that are really awesome, really good, that I think you guys are going to like. And then if we can kind of get some steam rolling, I'd like to introduce some other series like Black Mantis and maybe some other stuff. And some other stuff. I got some pretty cool stories if you guys will stick with me long enough to see them. So that's kind of what I was thinking as far as like I was talking about branding, because that's something that kind of comes about naturally. I think, like I said, I kind of discovered what my brand was naturally as I was writing. Patterns kind of came up on their own, and I think it's kind of like a Tarantino thing too. Like, I don't know if Tarantino set out to brand himself a certain way or if he just made what he wanted to make and that became a style that people want to copy all the time. But it's definitely something to keep in mind if you're a creator, to focus on what your brand is so that you can market yourself and so that your readers kind of know what to expect and what to associate you with. Speaking of, so we're talking Batman, we're talking brands. I just unshared my screen. I'm going to share it again. If I figure out how to do that. Why is Streamyards so weird? I think I just did it. We'll see. Can you guys see what I'm seeing? Yeah, there we go. So looking at Bleeding Cool, and Batman's getting a new cave. I don't know why. I don't keep up with Batman comics. I used to, but like the James Tynion stuff, I followed it for a pretty good while. But then when it got into like all of the Scarecrow stuff and like the Future State crossovers with all that, I stopped reading. But this just like clicked with me as I was looking at comic news, like DIY Cave. It's Batman's inner monologue. And I just hate how they've changed Batman. They made him so weird and like un-Batman like. They've made him talk with like this almost teen talk type of thing where he doesn't talk like the Batman. You know, Batman is such a specific character, I think. Like, he definitely has room for jokes and sarcasm, but it's all very dry and specific. I just don't think that he, like the DIY Batcave, I don't know. They write him so weird, and I feel like it's specific. Like, they want to change perception of Batman from being a badass to not being one. And that goes with this, with stupid Tom King, who, you know, I hate. And this Batman panel, I saw this on Twitter. I could not find it on Twitter, but I found it on the internet, which apparently found it on Twitter. And you've got like Batgirl, Catwoman, who's like gonna throw up, and Batman says, am I just totally spaced out right now on Streamyards? Am I totally screwed up right now? I think my screen was totally screwed up. Now are we on the Bat Bucket thing? Can we all see this now? Are we all on the same page? I've got bad allergies if I sound kind of weird. Can everybody see this now? Oh, is it sharing my other screen? Oh, well, sharing my other screen. If you guys haven't seen this, I've been hooked on watching these like documentaries about Disney and Nickelodeon channel shows that are like 5 hours long. My gosh. Yeah. So this is what we got over here. That's what was confusing. I got a dual monitor set up here, and I was like, why are you guys not seeing what I'm seeing? There we go. Okay, so they got this like panel here. Oh man, it's hard to read here. But it's like the whole making Batman just talk weird. Like Batman, Catwoman knocks some guy out. She says, I'm going to throw up. Batman says, I've got a bat bucket in the car. He says, what? He says it's a bucket with a bat on it, and he's like, I don't even know what that says, but it's like some weird. It's like the weird, awkward SJW humor that you get from these people, and it is so weird. Like, people don't talk like that in real life. When people do talk like that in real life, it stands out as being like so weird. Like, people do not communicate this way in real life. They don't talk like they're on Twitter. But Batman is totally into like the Twitter speak now. And that's totally true, I think, for this new Batcave. Did you guys not see the new Batcave thing either? Was that also on the wrong screen? Has everything that I've been sharing been on the wrong screen? If so, I'm going to be so super pissed. Let me see. Because if I got to go through all this again, I'm just going to be so mad. Not really, but. Okay. Maybe I was. Maybe I had that screwed up from the very beginning. First time doing this with 2 monitors. Like I said, I got a new setup. I got a new computer, PC, camera, headset. So I've totally screwed this up. What else do you expect from me? So we saw the Bat Bucket. We saw how cringy and weird that is. And how it's totally un-Batman. Like, Battinson Batman would never say that. Because that's not something Batman would say. It's this weird Tom King. But here's the crazy thing, and I've mentioned this before multiple times. Tom King can write an amazing Batman, but he chooses not to. Like, his Batman Annual from like 2018 or 2019 was so good. Probably one of my favorite Batman comics ever. It's 24, just like a 24-page floppy. Just so good. And it was like a throwaway thing that he did, and his main Batman run sucked because he chooses to write poorly. But he can write well. But he chooses to be cringy and weird in destroying Batman. So, but now that we're focused on the Bleeding Cool article here, what I was talking about earlier, in case you didn't see, which I don't think you did, the new Batcave Bleeding Cool article, where he's like, DIY cave, DIY Batcave, 15-minute craft, DIY Batcave. I don't know. I don't think he talks like that. What else does this show? Oh, micro Batcaves on the ground. I've had to diversify. That's the ticket right there. That's the key. He could say that about his whole life. He had to diversify. So we got a black Batman, we got a gay Robin, we got the Robin from Dark Knight Returns is now black in the series. Yeah, so he had to diversify because he's poor now. Which I don't even care about that. Like, Batman losing his money, I don't care about that necessarily. But I don't know. I just don't like what they're doing with him. Put me in charge of Batman. I'll give you a good Batman. I tell you what. And we're also talking about, in case you didn't see this, my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, @TheTettleman. This, by friend Sev Art. Concept art for a new character I'm developing. The Black Mantis, I'm calling him. Doesn't that just look so freaking clean? Obviously, praying mantis based. Badass. It's in the works. Early development. Stay tuned. Probably be a couple years before it comes out, but dang, that looks cool. Proud of that. And then I was talking about Displacer, which I already gave you the rundown, but I didn't give you the visuals. I don't think. Again, I don't even know how streaming works. But I showed a few of these on Twitter. Like I said, I had the lettering on some of them, but that got taken out when they had to be re-uploaded. But yeah, it's very interesting. I love this artist. Very interesting art style. Very good. That's 10 pages out of 64 that we're doing. It's going to be good. Man, I didn't really have much to talk about. Am I done? I don't think so. What was I talking about? I was talking about Batman and talking about branding. Those were two big things. Now I'm sitting here not knowing what to talk about. I will say I was talking about branding. And Displacer, funny enough, as much as I said that all my stories kind of have the similar theme, Displacer does have the theme present to a degree. I'll say that. But funny, for the second book that I'm publishing, the theme is not nearly as present as all my other works that I've written so far. So I thought that was kind of fun. But you're definitely going to want to take a look when it comes out. Everything else I do kind of touches into that, which I think is pretty good. So, back to being me, back to my Streamyard. I think so. So, at the end of the day, Batman, good movie. Recommend. Gonna see it again. Can't stop thinking about it. Branding's important. Make sure you know what your brand is, what people can expect. Keep a lookout for Noble Comics. I've got Cardinal 2, Displacer 1, and just a ton of other stuff lined up, ready to come out over the next few years. Doing some lettering, doing some writing. Pissed off about Batman and the comics, liking Batman in the movies. It's a weird world right now. Usually the opposite. And that's about it, I think. Short stream today. Just wanted to talk about some stuff. Next time, I will be sure to get the screen sharing correct. Now that I know what I'm doing. I'll see you guys in the next one.